The grinding scream of metal filled the air as the billionaire's private elevator shuddered to a stop, 40 floors above Manhattan. Sparks spat from the control panel, smoke curling in the narrow shaft. Her security team backed away, muttering about calling specialists. Then a tall man in a worn flannel shirt stepped forward, toolbox in hand, his blue eyes calm under the flickering lights. "If you can fix it, I'll give you anything you want," she blurted, her voice tight with panic. He didn't flinch, just knelt beside the scorched wires and said, "I'm not here for payment, ma'am. I'm here because someone could get hurt." Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin. The air was thick with the acrid scent of burning insulation. Emergency lights pulsed red across the glass and steel lobby of the Grayson Tower. Billionaire CEO Olivia Grayson stood rigid, her manicured fingers clutching the strap of her designer bag, eyes locked on the blacked-out elevator doors where her teenage daughter and 2 aides were trapped. Her chief of security was on the phone, barking orders, but his voice carried no confidence. "We'll have a city team here in 30 minutes?" Olivia's voice cracked. "She's in there now." That's when he stepped out of the crowd, Ethan Cole, a 35-year-old single dad who'd come to the building on a repair call for the basement's aging water pumps. He wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the lobby, but the moment the lights flickered and the alarm wailed, he'd followed instinct. His work boots thudded against the marble as he approached the panel. "You can't touch that," a guard warned, stepping in his path. Ethan's gaze didn't waver. "If those wires arc again, that motor's going to seize completely. That's not just a stuck elevator. It'll turn into a coffin if the brake fails." Olivia's eyes darted between him and the guards. The man didn't carry himself like a building tech. There was a steadiness, a weight in his tone that cut through the panic. "You can fix it?" she demanded. "I can try," he said, already dropping his battered toolbox to the floor. "But I'm not promising miracles." "If you can fix it," she said without thinking, "I'll give you anything you want." Ethan looked up at her then, really looked. Her diamond earrings caught the strobe of the emergency lights, but he didn't seem impressed or intimidated. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "I don't want your money. I just want to get those people out." Something in her chest twisted at the way he said it. No bargaining, no hesitation. Just a man doing what needed to be done. He popped the panel with a flick of his screwdriver, revealing a tangled mess of scorched copper and frayed insulation. Heat radiated from the guts of the system. He reached, and carefully, every movement precise, the way a surgeon might handle a failing heart. Sweat beaded at his temple, but his hands didn't tremble. "Hold that flashlight steady," he told one of the guards, his tone calm but firm. From inside the shaft, a faint cry. Olivia's daughter calling out. Her knees almost gave out, but Ethan's voice cut in again, grounding her. "She can hear you. Talk to her. Keep her calm." Olivia swallowed hard, leaning toward the door. "Chloe, honey, it's okay. We're getting you out. Just hang on." Ethan's wrench turned with a sharp click. The motor gave a reluctant groan, then a smooth hum. Moments later, the doors inched open, revealing Chloe pale but unhurt. The girl practically flew into her mother's arms. Olivia buried her face in her daughter's hair, breathing her in like she might disappear. When she looked up, Ethan was already closing his toolbox, ready to disappear back into the crowd. "Wait," she called after him. "You don't just walk away after something like that." He paused, met her gaze, and with a ghost of a smile said, "Ma'am, walking away is the easiest part." Then he turned, leaving Olivia staring after him, her heart thudding with a strange mix of gratitude, curiosity, and something else she couldn't name yet. The chaos in the lobby was fading, but Olivia couldn't take her eyes off the man walking toward the service exit. "Wait," she called. Ethan stopped, glancing back. "I meant what I said," she told him. "Anything you want." He shook his head. "Frank over there." He nodded toward the older doorman, rubbing his wrist. "Took a jolt when that button blew. Cover his medical bills. That's all I want." Frank's eyes widened, his mouth opening in protest. Olivia cut him off. "Done." Ethan gave a small nod and turned to leave. No name, no request for a reward. Just gone. The next morning, she couldn't stop thinking about him. By noon, they were sitting across from each other in a quiet cafe, Ethan with a pink backpack over his shoulder. "Your daughter?" she asked. "Maya," he said, smiling faintly. 8. Over coffee, she slid an envelope toward him. "For you." He didn't even touch it. "I don't want your money. What I want is for you to fix your maintenance schedule, replace what's dangerous before it fails. And," he hesitated, then added, "set up a scholarship for staff kids. Just one a year. It'll change more than you think." Olivia sat back, stunned. In her world, people always wanted more for themselves. Ethan only wanted more for others, and it unsettled her in ways she didn't expect. 2 days later, Olivia was in the boardroom, a skyline of glass and steel behind her, when she slid Ethan's handwritten notes across the table. Marcus Sterling, her CFO, barely glanced at them. "Liv, we've been over this. Replacing every coil in the building now isn't cost-effective. We can wait until one fails and traps more people." She cut in. "Number order them now." Marcus's polite smile didn't reach his eyes. "If we start throwing money at every what if, we'll be broke by next quarter." Olivia leaned forward. "And if we ignore the problems, we'll be paying with lives." The room went quiet. Marcus shifted in his seat, clearly not used to pushback. "You're the boss," he said finally. After the meeting, she texted Ethan, "We're replacing the coils. Scholarship discussion pending." He replied minutes later, "Good start." Later that evening, she found herself in the basement, watching Ethan and his small crew working on the pumps. He wasn't barking orders. He was fixing a valve himself, explaining every step to a young apprentice beside him. The kid's eyes lit up like this was more than a job. It was a future. When Ethan spotted her, he straightened, wiping his hands. "Checking up on me?" "Checking in," she said. "And I'm starting that scholarship. First one's for whoever you think deserves it." For a second, he just looked at her, and she caught something in his expression, a mix of surprise and respect. Then he nodded. "That'll do." The following week, Olivia's phone buzzed while she was in a dinner meeting with 2 potential investors. It was Damon, her security chief. "Elevator 2 throwing heat again. Maintenance says a complete stop is imminent." Olivia didn't even excuse herself. She stood and walked out. By the time she reached the lobby, the air was charged with panic. People were milling near the elevator bank, murmuring. An elderly man sat in a chair, fanning himself, looking pale. Ethan was already there, toolbox open, his crew holding flashlights. He was crouched by the panel, sleeves rolled, forearms slick with sweat. "Talk to me," Olivia said, stepping beside him. "Motor's been overheating for hours. The failsafe is about to trip. We get it moving now, or it'll lock in place with 2 people inside." She didn't hesitate. "What do you need?" He glanced up. "Everyone clear the area, and someone keep talking to the people in there. Let them know we've got this. She took that job herself, pressing her ear to the door. You're okay. We're getting you out. She caught snippets of a woman's voice from inside, shaky but responsive. Ethan's hands moved with controlled urgency, every twist of the wrench and splice of wire deliberate. His crew worked like an extension of him, no wasted motion. A sharp pop from the panel made Olivia flinch, but Ethan didn't even blink. Then came the groan of metal, the hum of power re-engaging. The doors slid open to reveal a woman clutching her briefcase and a young man in a delivery uniform. Both looked pale but unharmed. Applause broke out around them, but Ethan just stepped back, letting the EMTs take over. Olivia caught his arm before he could vanish. You just saved me from another nightmare, she said. He shrugged lightly. It's what I do. That's the thing, Ethan. You shouldn't have to keep saving us from the same problem. We fix it for good this time. He gave a rare half-smile. Then you'll be the first person in this building who means that. That night, Olivia called an emergency board meeting. Marcus resisted, but she had data, photos, and, most importantly, stories from the people Ethan had pulled out of those elevators. For once, the board didn't argue long. The upgrade budget was approved in full. When she left the meeting, she sent Ethan a short message. Full funding, and I want you to oversee it. His reply was instant. Only if I can bring my own team. Done, she wrote back. In the quiet after midnight, sitting in her office with the city lights below, Olivia realized something. Ethan hadn't just fixed her elevators. He was starting to fix her company's soul. The first morning of the full-scale upgrade project felt different. The usually polished lobby of Grayson Tower was scattered with tool carts, cables, and the smell of new steel. Most CEOs would have stayed far away from the noise and dust. But Olivia was there at 7 a.m., in a plain sweatshirt and jeans, coffee in hand, watching Ethan organize his team like a conductor with an orchestra. His crew wasn't large. 6 people in total, a mix of seasoned techs and younger apprentices. But they moved with a precision that came from respect, not fear. Ethan wasn't barking orders. He was explaining, demonstrating, showing a 20-year-old intern exactly how to check the heat signature on a coil before installing it. Olivia noticed the same apprentice stealing glances at her, clearly aware of who she was. At one point, Ethan caught the look and gave the young man a nod. She's just here to see the work, not to bite, he teased, earning a small laugh. She smiled. I'm just here to make sure my elevators are treated like the backbone of this building, not an afterthought. Ethan looked at her for a long second before replying. That's a good start. By mid-morning, one of the elevators had been stripped down to its bare frame. The sight was unsettling, thick cables coiled on the floor, the walls bare, the counterweight hanging like a shadow in the shaft. Olivia stood near the open doors, peering into the vertical tunnel. It's like looking into the throat of the building, she murmured. That's exactly what it is, Ethan said, coming up beside her. You ignore it, the whole thing chokes. There was a pause before she asked, You've done this work a long time? Long enough, he said. Long enough to see what happens when someone's budget matters more than someone's life. His voice didn't rise, but there was an edge there. A story he wasn't telling. She didn't push, but she filed it away. Around noon, Damon approached Olivia with a tablet in hand. You're going to want to see this. He showed her a series of maintenance reports, ones she hadn't been sent. Repeated requests for replacements marked as deferred, each signed off by Marcus. Something cold settled in her stomach. Send me copies, she told Damon quietly. Every single one. That afternoon, Ethan asked Olivia to join him in the basement. The air was warmer there, heavy with the hum of machinery. He pointed to a massive control unit with warning stickers plastered across it. "This one's overdue for replacement too," he said. "It wasn't in the budget you approved because it never made it to your desk." Her jaw tightened. "Marcus?" "Probably," Ethan said. "And before you say it, yeah, replacing it will cost more now than it would have months ago." "I'm replacing it," she said flatly. Ethan studied her for a beat, then nodded. "That's the right call. But I have to ask. Are you doing this because it's the safe thing, or because you don't like being lied to?" She met his eyes. Both. The following morning, she called Marcus into her office. The evidence was stacked neatly on her desk. Maintenance requests, cost deferments, and Ethan's inspection notes. "Care to explain?" she asked. Marcus gave a light chuckle. "Liv, this is just standard operating procedure. We delay where we can. That's how you keep margins healthy. You delayed on safety. You signed off on risk while telling me it was nothing," she said, her voice low but sharp. He shrugged, leaning back in the chair. And yet, nothing happened. "Two near disasters happened," she cut in. "The only reason they didn't turn into funerals is because of a man you call a contractor cowboy." He waved a hand. "You're letting a repairman get in your head. I've kept this company profitable for 12 years. Olivia leaned forward. "You've kept it profitable by gambling with lives. You're done here, Marcus. Pack your office." His confident mask slipped for the first time. "You're making a mistake." "No," she said, standing. "I'm fixing one." News of Marcus's firing spread quickly through the building, and for the first time in years, the maintenance staff were being asked for their opinions in meetings. Olivia found herself walking the halls more, talking to people she'd once only passed on her way to the executive floor. Ethan noticed the change. One afternoon, as the final set of upgraded elevators hummed smoothly in their shafts, he joined her in the lobby. "You've shifted the culture," he said. "I've just been listening," she replied. "That's all it takes sometimes," he said. The official ribbon cutting for the newly upgraded systems was a quiet affair. No media, no grand speeches. Just Olivia, her daughter Chloe, the maintenance crew, and a few staff from every department. Ethan stood near the back, Maya perched on his shoulders, grinning wide. When the first elevator doors slid open with a smooth whisper, Chloe leaned toward Olivia and whispered, "Feels different." Olivia smiled. "It is different." After the small celebration, she found Ethan and Maya. She knelt to Maya's level. "Your dad's the reason this building's safe now. You must be proud." Maya grinned. "I've always been proud." Ethan's eyes softened, and Olivia felt something shift inside her. Not just gratitude, but a deep respect that didn't need to be dressed up as anything else. As the crowd thinned, she turned to Ethan. "You never did tell me what you want for yourself. Not for Frank, not for my staff, not for the building, for you." He hesitated, then said, "I want stability for my daughter. A life where she doesn't have to wonder if the floor will give way under her feet, literally or otherwise." Olivia nodded slowly. "You've given me a lot. I think I can give you that." He smiled faintly. "Let's see." And for the first time in a long time, Olivia Grayson walked out of her building not thinking about margins or profits, but about what could be built when people like Ethan were part of the foundation.